Hi, I'm Janet Glynn. Welcome back to Close to Home, Southington's November Basic Saturday Sampler. So this month, in November, we're going to be doing the half square triangle using the easy angle triangle ruler. And our block is actually made up of a 4-patch, and this 4-patch obviously finishes at 6 inches, so each of these little squares will finish at 2 inches. Okay? And I'm going to show you an easy way to make half square triangles without drawing any lines. Just cut and sew and we're done, and no waste of fabric. Okay, so the ruler we're going to be using, again, is called the Easy Angle. This one in particular will make half square triangles from a 1/2 inch finished all the way up to a 6-inch finished half square triangle, which is wonderful. And the rule of thumb is you basically cut a strip a 1/2 inch larger than your finished half square triangle. I also have another Easy Angle ruler. This is the Easy Angle 2. This ruler starts and does a finished 2-inch, which we're using, so either of these is perfect, a finished 2-inch all the way up to a finished 10-inch half square triangle. So you have a lot more flexibility as far as your half square triangles with this ruler. Either of them will work for today's block. Okay, so let's go over to the cutting, and then I'll show you how to actually use the ruler. So you're getting 4 pieces of fabric. The white fabric is going to be cut into 3 2.5-inch strips. The long way along your white piece of fabric in your kit. And please remember to starch your fabrics. There's a lot of half square triangles, and there's a lot of stretching and bias. So please best press your kits before you go to cut them. So the white gets into 3 2.5-inch strips, and the last one is our corner pieces, as you can see here in our block, and you need 4 2.5-inch squares. So you have a little extra at the end, that's fine. Just leave those in long strips, and I'll show you what to do next. The blue is also the length of the strip and 2.5 inches wide. And then simply the green and orange, we're going to cut the length of the strip, guess what, 2.5 inches. Okay, so a lot of 2.5 inch today. All right, so let's get into cutting. I've already cut the kits for today's block, and I do want to show you how to use the Easy Angle ruler. So the best way to explain it is when you're putting your strips together, remember your strips have to be a 1/2 inch wider than your finished half square triangle. So I want 2-inch finished. My strips are cut 2.5, and you're simply going to put your 2 colors together, right sides together. Okay, so there's 1 unit and 2 units. I need a total of 16 half square triangles, so I'm going to cut 8 out of this strip and 8 out of that strip. The first thing we have to remember is to always get a nice even edge on the side. So I could literally line up any of these lines with the bottom of my strip, and I know that this angle is going to be correct. Okay, so let me go ahead and get a nice straight edge to start with. Oops. Okay. The next thing we have to remember about this ruler is this little black tip right here. The tip is always pointing to the right first. So I'm going to place my ruler along the bottom of my strip with the black tip facing the rest of my strip. And you can see up at the top where the 2.5-inch mark reaches the top of my strip. And yes, there is like a little jog right here. It doesn't come all the way up to the point. It stops right here. So we're going to go ahead and cut this first triangle shape, and that'll be our first half square triangle. Try not to move it around too much. Okay, once you figure it's there, give it a nice cut. And again, we have that little flat side at the top. Now the next thing you have to remember, the first cut was with the black tip toward the end of our strip. This hypotenuse of our triangle is like a hinge. So we have to remember we're going to just flip it over on the hinge, and the black tip now rests just below the bottom of our strip, while the line of our 2.5 inch marking on the ruler rides right along the top of our strip. And we can go ahead and cut another one. So here is going to be our notch cut off just like the first one, except now this one's on the bottom. Okay, so once I cut that, I have a second half square triangle. So remember our hinge? We're going to hinge it back over, and now the tip is pointing to the end of our strip. And we're just going to continue this way, cutting 8 of these per strip. Hinge, black tip goes below the strip, the line goes along the top, and cut another one. Okay, so we're going to continue with those, and we're going to go sew these from the point all the way down to here. So I'll do 1 or 2 and show you how to press them, and we'll be golden. So I put this point in first into the sewing machine. And we'll go ahead and make our half square triangle. Try not to stretch it out of shape. And we'll go ahead and stop there. Needle up, foot up. And you're going to have a chain of 16 of these. Go ahead and just keep sewing all 16 at the same time. Then you can bring them over in a big long string over to the cutting board, and we want to press these with the dark side toward the dark side. So the dark side is up. I give it a little bit of heat. Pop it open and give it a nice press toward the dark blue. Okay, and we just hold it, and we have our half square triangle. All right. Once we get 16 of our half square triangles made, we're going to put them into groups. 4 of them are going to be sewn in this manner, so please pay attention to your directions that you're going to get with your excuse me, your directions you're going to get with the kit. So 4 of these units are going to get sewn together. And then 4 of these units are going to get sewn together. Now these half square triangles are going in the opposite direction. And we added the corner square. So we are also going to make 4 of these. Once we get our units together, then we can work on our 4 patch. To make our 4 patch, all I've done is I've cut my 2.5 inch strips of the green and the orange. I've sewn down 1/4 inch down the entire strip. I pressed to the orange, and then I subcut them into 2.5 inch segments. Once we've done 4 patches, so this is nothing new to my basic people, I've taken my 2.5 inch segment, I've turned them around and made my 4 patches. Okay? All right, so assembling these is pretty simple, but there's a little trick that I do want to show you. When you're sewing your units to your 4 patch, you want to make sure that 2 of them are the orange in the top left corner, and 2 of them are the green in the top left corner. Okay, so this is going to go on here, and this is going to go to the top. All right. This is going to go to the top, and this one's going to go to the top. Okay, just like that. So all these go to the top. 2 of them are the orange in the top left corner, and 2 of them are in the green. Once we get these sewn and pressed, we're going to come back to our other units, and they all go down the right-hand side. Pretty simple. Just like this.
What do you press towards?
Which way? On the little 2, on these, I like to press toward this way. It's in the directions, but I'm pressing these in that direction, and I'm pressing these toward the square. When I get this sewn to this, it's easier to press toward the 4 patch because we have little excess fabric here at the half square triangle junction. All right, so we'll press these toward the 4 patch. And then when you get to this point and you're sewing these 3 pieces to these, you want to make sure that you really match up this intersection right here. Okay, and have a nice clean intersection with your fabrics, locking your seams, remember? So if these are pressed this way and these are pressed this way, you should be able to lock that seam and have a really nice join right there. All right, so we're going to continue to sew our 4 pieces. Again, check your directions for the positioning of your half square triangles and which way to press. And once we get our 4 units together, it's just a matter of turning them so that we have a 16 patch in the center. Here's all our units. Again, green, orange, green, orange. So as you can see, when I did this, I did 2 greens and I did 2 oranges. Okay? And we're just going to sew those together into a nice big 4 patch. So I have a couple announcements I do want to make before I let you go. You can pick up your basic block on Saturday the 21st with your directions. At that time, you're more than welcome to sign up for the next basic for 2021, or if you feel comfortable, please join us in the intermediate block of the month, which starts also in January of 2021. And your first kit, of course, is always $10. So sign up when you pick up your November kits. Okay? I also want to mention those are 2 samplers that you'll come to every month, but I do want to mention a new block of the month that we're going to be doing. Moda is sponsoring My Favorite Color is Moda quilt, and they have designed the entire quilt using 10 solid colors. Okay, we have picked 2 colorways to offer you. One colorway, let's see if I can find it, here they are. One colorway is the Primrose, which is beautiful greens and pinks, a little bit of oranges. And the other colorway is called Coastal Cool with navies, whites, beiges, and a little bit of teals going on in it. But as you can see, the quilt is identical in any colorway that you choose. So this is how it's going to work. You pay for your kits up front. You get about 11 yards of fabric and a pattern, and it's going to run you about $125. You're going to pick that up in January. So in essence, you have all the fabric and the pattern, and you could go ahead and make all the blocks that are needed for this quilt. The quilt will measure 81 by 99 when you're finished. These are a sample of some of the blocks that you're going to be making. They range from 9-inch to 36 inches, and they are going to be arranged January through November. Marcia and I will try to put up a little video each month showing you what we've come up against, trying to give you a couple tips or techniques to help you along. December, guess what? It's time to take all those blocks and assemble your quilt. Okay? It doesn't mean you have to wait every month. You have the pattern. If you have the time, go ahead and make the whole quilt by the end of January, by all means. So keep attuned to how to do this every month. Hopefully we'll have a little video out there. You can also, if you can't come into the store, you can sign up for your kit and pay online. It is on the Close to Home website, okay, as a class. Also watch for any specials coming your way via email for the holiday. And we do have a wish box that comes in very handy if you fill in your name and some of the items that you wish for in our store. Your friends and family can come in, pick up your index card, and get you what you like. Okay, it's a really easy way for your loved ones to shop for you, and we welcome them. Okay, I hope to see you on Saturday to pick up your basic block, and I'll see you next month. Thank you.